What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Guys, we are back in Denmark. You know, every time I do Denmark videos, this channel is always, or this this YouTube channel, this family is always recommended to me, Traveling Young. And there's another one, I forget their name, but hey, they're good couple out in Denmark. So I always get these two channels, and we got a very basic look at taxes between Denmark and USA. You know, I already know because in Europe, taxes are high, at least compared to us, but it actually goes towards something. You know, it actually beneficial for us. Taxes might be lower, but it's like it doesn't go towards nothing, to be honest. You know, or at least we think what it goes toward is enough, basically. But we finna check this out. Y'all hit that subscribe button, send down those recommendations. Let's see this difference.
Today, we're going to take a simple comparison of taxes in
Denmark
versus taxes in
the United States of America.
I'm not brisket.
We're the Youngs,
We've spent our lives traveling the world.
And in 2018, we moved from
Chicago, Illinois to
Copenhagen, Denmark
Now we want to share with you
how our new lives abroad
is keeping us young.
keeping us young.
are helping to keep us young.
I feel like they need to get like on the TLC network or something like that. Like I can see this being like a reality show type thing.
Hello and welcome to Traveling Young. Today we wanted to discuss taxes and compare the fundamentals of a typical paycheck in America versus in Denmark.
Yes, she said taxes. I do want to mention what this is and isn't meant to be, though. We are not here to complain about paying taxes. We know every single human on the planet has a position on that. So no, this video isn't meant to debate the merits of paying taxes or if somebody feels their taxes are too high. That's not what we're here for.
What this is meant to do is help explain and compare what an American or a Dane making 100,000 US dollars a year or 50,000 Danish krona a month would pay in taxes.
Yeah, and we recognize that taxes, rules about taxes, deductions, everything is super complicated.
That's a
In order to
fact.
keep this conversation basic, we aren't going to tackle all of those things in this video, but we may in another video. We also aren't going to get into sales tax or value-added taxes, which of course affect how you spend the money that you take home from your paycheck each month.
But take-home pay is exactly what we want to cover here. What does a single person with one child take home each month after the basics are taken away from their check? What are they left with, and how does that compare between the US of A and Denmark?
And this is gonna be interesting because I feel like, and maybe you know, I know they finna tell me that, but I know for us, I feel like they take a big old chunk out of our check to go towards nothing. That's what I feel like.
US of A or Denmark. While I adjusted incomes a bit to avoid disclosing too much about us, rest assured these numbers are real. And we know that some people will make a little bit more than this, or some will make less than this, adjusting, of course, the amount of taxes that they pay. This is meant to give the picture with actual numbers. Of course, this is the take-home that they pay, that they're going to have taken out of their check. And what we're not going to talk about here, of course, is the end-of-the-year adjustments that you make. But what we do want to do is just go into this and take our illustration and start showing you how we've kind of calculated what this means to you.
Yeah, so let's show you.
All right, so we've got two pieces of paper here. This one is America. This one is Denmark. We're going to cut them in a line, and each strip is going to represent the amount of money a person would make in a month.
Okay.
They will both be the same amount and length. 50,000 Danish krona a month, or 8,330 US dollars. Now we're going to draw some lines here to indicate that each notch is going to be 2,500 Danish krona. Now, each of these sections is meant to illustrate that amount, 2,500 krona, or 408 US dollars. First, we're going to start with America. An American making 50,000 a month is going to pay 7,736 krona in federal income tax, and then they will pay 2,500 in state tax in Illinois, because in this example, the person is living in Illinois, which we did right before we moved here. And then they will pay 3,900 Danish krona in FICA tax. FICA combines both Social Security and Medicare. These are the taxes that somebody has to pay in America. But there's going to be some changes in a minute. But first, let's go to
Okay, so
Denmark.
almost $3,000 a month out of 8,000, I believe. That's a large chunk. $3,000 out of that monthly check.
In Denmark, you're going to pay 14,824 Danish krone in ASCAT. And then there's 4,000 krone in AM tax.
Okay.
There's just a wee sliver of 95 krone for ATP. We're not going to label that one because it's so small, but it does exist, so we wanted to mention it. So if we look at the taxes here, this is all of the U.S. tax, and this is the Danish tax, and this is what a person making that amount of money would come home with. So
Let's see this before he finished. Okay, take home 6. Oh, I said 3,000. I thought it was like 29, but 23 is still a good amount. Okay. Over here, Danish is 3,000, so you'll take 5. Okay. I'm sure he's gonna. I know it goes towards. Ours don't go towards much. Like. Okay. It's still.
Okay, so you can see that the American has a little bit more money, but what's missing here is the American doesn't have health insurance yet, nor are they saving for a college education for their child. If they had to pay health insurance, they're going to pay 2,333 Danish krone in a month. That's exactly what we were paying for Maya and myself when we were living in Illinois. I also decided to save up for Maya's college costs.
Wow.
And I started that immediately after she was born. I was paying $250 a month, or 1,500 Danish krone. Now you can see once you add health insurance and a college fund, these amounts are starting to look a little bit more equal. What I forgot to add when doing this exercise is that in Denmark, rather than getting a credit or paying less taxes when you have a child, as is the case in the US, the government in Denmark pays you directly into your bank account a certain amount of money. Due to how it is handled, our tax remains the same, but we're adding 400 Danish krone to our income in Denmark to account for this example of having one child.
I remember them saying that because I don't know if it's all of Europe, but I think I even seen, what's the lady's name? There's a lady that lives in the Netherlands. She said they get paid like per child, depending on how old the child is, about 100 to 300. I mean, in the case of US dollars, 100 $300 a month or every 2 or 3 months because of their government, helping with child costs, child care type stuff and all that. So yeah, oh man. See, they didn't start doing that here until like the pandemic happened. And they were giving us a certain amount of money for kids, for our children, depending on age and all that stuff. But I thought that was necessary. Like, if we actually did that for parents and stuff, kids wouldn't be worried about like where their food, clothes, and all. I think that's helpful. But it's like we didn't decide to do that till a pandemic. That's not good. And there's other countries out here that do it straight off the jump, and it's a guaranteed required thing. But I think it's good, like, for your government to give you money for children.
Now when you look, they're even closer than before, since 400 Danish krone or $65 is added back to the Danish income. They aren't equal yet, but the difference isn't that significant. It's only 550 Danish krone or $86 more for the American.
And you know what I forgot to mention? Just think, in Denmark, all that stuff included when you just out of your check. Think about how many parents probably don't have health insurance in America and not saving up for their children's college. So just think about that. Then when it comes, that's why it's so many people in debt after going to, because I know that's why, like, we wasn't like saving for college like that, so, I mean, of course your hopes is to get a scholarship and stuff like that, but just imagine how many parents are not putting aside a college fund, which in Denmark, it's already set aside to do that in your taxes. Like, that's better.
In America, if I'm paying for my health insurance and I'm saving for my daughter's college and I'm paying all that tax, that's basically the equivalent of what's happening in Denmark, except in Denmark, it's all actually contained just in your tax itself. Those things are included in what you're paying in those
Definitely
taxes.
better.
But here's the interesting thing. Let's move this down a bit. In America, health insurance is not going to cover everything. There are still deductibles, there are still copays,
right.
there are other costs beyond what you pay in your insurance. And if this income is fixed and it won't increase all that often, this is the amount of money that you're taking home. Let's just say that you need all of this to pay for your house, to pay for your car or cars, to pay for your food and a little bit of fun. This is all consumed with those things. Where are you going to get money to pay for the additional unanticipated health needs? Well, the way most people handle that is through debt. Debt here is illustrated through a question mark. If income can increase and you have more bills due to a healthcare obligation that you didn't realize you need, this is the only way that you can cover that. And the problem with this is if your health situation is bad and it's an ongoing issue, this may have to grow even bigger.
Dang,
the only way you can grow
makes
your money
sense.
if necessary, and if you don't have any savings, is through debt. This is one of the challenges that I see, and it's where my opinion comes in. This is one of the unforeseen things that can happen if your health is not really possible to cover easily through your income, because this is all consumed by the things that you need to survive and potentially a little bit that can make you happy. Debt is the only variable that you can introduce in order to handle the part that you can't cover through the money that you're making.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense. I wasn't even thinking about the deductibles and all. And sometimes those deductibles probably gonna be more than what you setting aside for your child college fund, like, or even more, like you said, depending on how serious. Dang, that makes sense. That makes a lot of
Additionally,
sense.
this college savings wasn't going to be enough to pay for all of Maya's college. It was only going to make it easier at the point when she went to college. During the 4+ years that Maya would be in college, I might be in a position that I'd have to add even more question marks in order to cover the part of college that my savings wouldn't be able to handle. Now, maybe my income increases and I can pay off some of it, but debt is basically the only variable that I can add in order to increase what I have to pay. And this extra bit is where I think there's a significant challenge in America, because these things are things you just can't easily anticipate, especially healthcare. But those are the things that get handled through the tax that you pay in Denmark.
Wow.
If you took these things out completely, if you didn't save for college, you didn't pay for health insurance, sure, you may be taking home a little bit more money than you would otherwise, but you're still back in the situation where you have to start adding debt to cover the things that you can't pay for out of pocket. And this is where the challenge exists. So in my opinion, the difference isn't necessarily that you're paying for these things, because you're paying no matter what. The difference is how and where you're paying for them. Let's take the income away for now. The difference here is that in Denmark, all of this is going to be paid through your taxes. Where in the US, a portion is going to tax and a portion is going into what would be considered the open market and competition, where you can make decisions. But in the end, college is going to cost a lot of money because it's basically a business and the costs are increasing every single year. And health insurance is something that you may need more of than you think you'll need, but you might also need less. You just don't know. Depends on how long you live or what happens to you. But health insurance really isn't a competitive market. But more importantly, think about it. If you're in a serious injury after a car accident, as an example, will you be swiping left or right on your phone to find a doctor? You're going to take the care that you can get. And what that means is you're going to find out later what impact that has on your health insurance or costs.
Man.
Health insurance is also something that you need to survive because it affects your ability to earn money. Because you can't earn the money here if you aren't healthy. You can't earn income,
That's a fact.
and then everything becomes a major problem.
Man, this is actually a good illustration. Like, this makes a whole lot of sense. And I think sometimes we don't think about that. Like, hospital visit costs, all those things. Like, just think about how many Americans are in debt. And then you have those, like you said, you get hurt and you missing work. That money is shorter because you can't even take that many, you don't even have that many days dedicated to take off. You know? Man, that's...
Then you might have a whole bunch of question marks in order to cover all kinds of items that you didn't realize you'd need. I hope you enjoyed this little example, but before we get into a little summary here, we're going to take a quick break because it's Tuesday.
So that means try it on Tuesday.
Try it on Tuesday.
Well, let's see
Yeah.
what we're trying.
All right, welcome to Try It On Tuesday.
Hi.
Almost any angle we sit at, you can see our liquor cabinet behind us. I feel like it doesn't matter where we set up the camera.
You know
You can
what?
always see that.
It's got quite the following, I think. People enjoy it.
So this week,
We've added to our liquor cabinet
we've
again.
added to, so we have not yet made Turkish pepper along
No.
with vodka, but we bought it pre-made.
Yeah.
And so that's what this week's Try It On Tuesday is going to be.
And I feel like the depressing thing about this was that the bottle says it's been around since the 90s.
Yeah.
Which I was like, man, that's not been that long. And then I realized it's 30 years ago.
And a quick note, I recognize on the bottle it says it's made in Norway. So I'm sure someone will comment on that.
This
Holy, and the smell.
looks...
Oh my god, it smells. Holy
I'm not
moly.
sure what you guys were making us
This
do.
is insane.
This
All
looks
right,
like
well.
something out of the witch's brew from Macbeth.
It's a color that I don't typically see in a liquid.
Yeah, it looked black. It looked black. You know, I know how that Turkish pepper tastes though. I did the Swedish candy thing. Yeah, I don't think I'm not a fan of it. But Sweden do got some good candy, guys.
From Macbeth.
It's a color that I don't typically see in a liquid that I want to drink.
I feel like this is the kind of like liquid you would see where somebody would be like, you need to go to the doctor.
Yeah, well, if you produced it. All right, well, let's try this out.
Try it.
Cheers. Holy moly. That is
Okay, wait.
liquid. It says on it to sip it or do a shot of it.
Woo! Wow.
The great taste of the sweet, hot and sweet, has been around for 90s. Shot it, sip it, your choice. I have a different choice. Although I gotta say, I'm gonna have
It's
one more.
oddly, it's like
A
that.
little more?
Yeah, it's like that Fernic blah 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 that we had one
Blah
time.
blah blah.
I feel like it came out darker that time.
Yeah, maybe I should have shook it up. I'm gonna sip it a little. That's a mistake.
Oh,
All right,
That's
well,
funny.
it's like spicy NyQuil.
good news,
Not
friends. If you
NyQuil.
come to visit,
We've got lots of this
we've
for
got
you.
this that you'll probably.
We did it for you.
It'll be here for a while. Whew.
You know what?
Man.
It'll take my mind off my knee.
All right, well, that's it for this week's Try It On Tuesday.
I'd say thanks, but I'm not sure.
We needed to do something. We had safe bets recently,
We
so
did.
it was good to have a crazy one in there. So, all right,
Finish it at least.
back to the video. Let's learn more about the exciting world of taxes.
All right. Welcome back from another edition of Try It On Tuesday.
Yes,
Which there's a pattern here in that a lot of them seem to be alcohol based.
that's true.
Yeah, they need their own TV show. They need to be on the TLC network. I'll watch.
Which there's a pattern here in that a lot of them seem to be alcohol based.
That's true.
Which it's okay.
Yeah, I don't mind. You know, we got to get used to. I need to get used to the Danish teen life of alcohol.
I don't know about that.
You don't agree with that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know. All right, so we just wanted to summarize a little bit of what we watched around this tax stuff. There's a couple things I wanted to make sure that I mentioned. Number one, I know people have mentioned to us that Danes actually have a slightly higher amount of debt than Americans do, but a lot of that has to do with homes. And if you're carrying debt for a 4 million krona house, that's comes up in a much higher number. But yet, if you're carrying debt 500,000 krona for other things like healthcare or your college education, the problem with that is there's nothing tangible, so there's no asset. And so that debt, while it might be less, actually has a bigger impact on you because you can't sell something to pay the debt off like you could with a house.
Yeah.
You're just kind of out of luck. And that's
Dang.
where a lot of problems exist. So
Dang, I didn't know you could. That do make sense because I know a lot of people here, like they're able to possibly come out of debt by selling their home or getting equity out of their home. I don't know if that works the same in Denmark. I know he said like it kind of don't, but I don't know how it works. Like when it comes to equity and different things like that.
Pay the debt off like you could with a house. You're just kind of out of luck. And that's where a lot of problems exist. So I wanted to mention that as one of the things that we didn't really bring up when we were talking about the construction paper stuff.
Yeah.
But Maya, you are kind of new to this world
I am new.
Taxes. And what are your thoughts?
I'm going to be 18 this year, so I better start taking notes. But I think it was really interesting to watch where your taxes actually go in the different countries. Looking at Denmark, I know they have a lot in healthcare and it's all kind of covered in a little thing. But it's so interesting to look at all of the savings that you have to do in America compared to Denmark for college and things. That's not something that you have to do here.
Yeah, and things that you just don't even
and
know
that's
about
a lot of money.
Yeah. And we know that there's a ton of things that we didn't touch on here. It's a very complicated issue, taxes, and we're hoping in other videos we'll talk about some of those things.
Because really, it's I know it's how many savings accounts do you need to save all this stuff? Especially if you have multiple kids, you're not gonna put all the college fund in one saving for, let's say, 3 to 4 kids. That's a lot of saving. That's a lot of money you gotta take out. For those different things. That's why I said earlier, just think about how many people don't have that college fund and their kids go to college and they get into debt if they don't get a scholarship or anything. That's why I said scholarship is based on academics. Sports, you can get a sports scholarship. There's different ways, but then too, a lot of people don't know all the other ways to get scholarships. That's the crazy thing. You have to Google this stuff. We have to Google it.
But we thought it was important first to do a video that just kind of touches on the fundamentals. We also know that people make less money in different places. We thought it'd be really confusing to try to compare a person in a city in the US making more or less than somebody in Denmark. So we used the same numbers. But in reality, people make different amounts of money in different places. And so maybe one time we'll touch a little bit on cost of living in different cities that we've lived.
That could be interesting.
And Denmark, of course. But that wasn't meant to be in this video. We just wanted to start with something pretty basic.
Yeah.
So a couple other updates for you. Miranda, who's sitting on the couch over there right now. You probably can't hear her because we're wearing our new wireless lab mics instead of the regular mic. But she's surviving.
Mine is hiding.
We're super excited that her gangrene hasn't yet set in on her knee.
No, we haven't had to amputate it yet.
No, everything's okay. She's just limping around everywhere, and I'm basically Brisket's caretaker now, it seems. But she's doing well, and she appreciates all the nice things that people have said after the video that we posted of her falling on the lake.
Oh,
and also, we just continue to be amazed by everything, and it feels like we're on the verge of getting ourselves on the path to 10,000 subscribers. And we appreciate all you've done to help us get to here. It'd be super cool if any of these videos really seem to touch you in some way, or you think is really interesting, to feel compelled to share it with people. That way maybe we can get up to 10,000 even faster. I think Maya and I have a little bet on how long.
They actually at 20, almost 30,000 now. So what was this I think this video was a year or two ago.
It will take for that to happen.
Yeah, I'm wondering how long it will be. But I've been pretty blown away so far. Everything is happening so fast. But it's all thanks to you guys.
Yeah, we absolutely appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please feel free to do so. I feel like there's a litany of things you're supposed to say as a YouTuber at the end.
Yeah.
Smash the like button.
Smash the subscribe button.
Make sure
and click the bell for notifications. I guess that's important.
Make sure
we don't have all those scripts down yet.
No.
Follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah. I don't know. That's I don't know. MySpace. Find our MySpace page if you can.
Yeah. Find our socials.
Anyway, thank you so much for everything, and we appreciate all the support that we've had. And there you go. That's our Tuesday video. A little bit of a comparison between taxes in America
and Denmark.
All right. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Trout on Tuesday.
Yes.
Coming back from Trout on Tuesday, take 2.
I guess this is the bloopers, but no, they explained that very well. I know that I'm in Texas, so I know the tax system still works a little different versus them being from Chicago or moving from Chicago. I don't know where they're exactly from, but moving from Chicago to Denmark, I know the tax system do work differently, but I feel like that was still like you said, a basic look at it, because it will definitely work the same. The system still works the same. You know, you got people saving for college. You got people putting aside for health insurance and stuff like that, which Denmark has all that stuff included in your taxes. And then them getting a payment. I know payment for their child. I know I think the younger the child is, I want to say the more they get, or the older they are, the more they get. I don't know how it really works. I know it may be the younger they are, the more they get. I believe, you know, because I feel like more kids more. I mean, kids of all age, need a lot, you know, but it's different when they're younger because they growing so fast and stuff. At a clothes, starting to eat a little bit more and stuff like that, But yeah, I enjoyed this. I appreciate you guys for sending me this recommendation. This was good. But like I said, just think about all the families that probably not setting aside for college, health insurance. You have to have a good job to have good health insurance, but you're still paying deductibles. So it's still a lot of money coming out versus in Denmark. It's all taken care of, you know. So I always say the more money you make, the more money they take, you know, just because, like, you just never know. There's a lot of unexpectancy in life. But thank you guys. That's all I have for this video. Y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Send down those recommendations. Make sure y'all get Traveling Young. Subscribe. Hey, they need their own TV show. They need their own TV show for sure. But y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.